everyone, Joshua Hanlon here at Brickworld Detroit, and I am in the middle of the Great Ball Contraption layout. I'm joined by one of the builders here, so if you want to introduce yourself, and then we'll launch on in, taking a look at all these modules.
All right, let's do that. I'm Brad Sweet, a longtime GBCer, as you've probably seen on many videos, and so with that, let's get going. So we have an Archimedes screw here, which, looking down the tunnel, you can see the ball slowly working up. It works very reliably, and it passes a lot of balls at once, which is really nice. And then we have generally a conveyor module. It has a slope, takes the balls. Then we go to a spirals spinner that nice black and white, has a lot of speed to it to help move the balls along. Again, we have the conveyor module, and then we have another stepper module. Again, a number of these are from Brickworlds. I'm not going to go into that detail here. Just try to tell you what they do and what, where they go. So this is John Brose bridge that we've borrowed the last number of shows from him because it's just simpler. We got tired of crawling under the tables. So this works really well. I think we've had a jam or two. We also recognized we didn't quite put it together right to start with. And so once we got it together right, it works really well.
I like the variety here with the conveyor on one side and then kind of the loop on the other.
I love the blue pieces that really stand out, from everything else. So with that, we have a standard stepper module going into a wheel with the B that kind of always goes with it. Some of the things I've built. I've actually reversed this time. It used to run this way, and now I reversed it just to see if it would be a little more consistent, I guess. So it's worked fine. And then we come to the ball coaster. The ball coaster has been around probably 8 years now. And so
also very colorful.
Well, I like color. There are a few modules, yellow but most of them are a mix of colors. It comes up into two paths, one which goes to the loop-to-loop, and one which takes the outer ramp around. So it goes out that way, and it's always it comes in 3 boxes, and it's always quite a effort to get the loop-to-loop to really line up properly so it doesn't dump balls all over the place. Because if it goes too slow, the balls will stop down in here. Once they do that, of course, you're over somewhere else fixing something. You come back and there are 20 balls backed up. So just the nature of the beast. So from there, we just go to the conveyor, nice ramp.
You got to mention Minecraft back here. You get
more
coming up.
Oh, yes, absolutely. We've kind of decorated kind of from here down to there to the ski lift with Minecraft and Minions. So here we have a traditional, flipper. This is the wheel, and from there we go into the real nice decorations. This is simply the Minion with the beetle lights. We have the new set from Lego that shows those 3, and we have the old one with those 3 there. And so again, a ball pumper with lights. And then we move over to the creeper, which the same concept, the ball pump. And we do a lot of decoration with this. Between the pig over here, the chicken on fire here, the creeper you noted back there. So we try to really theme it up for the kids.
And if we may, we'll stop for a quick commercial break. I just want to encourage younger kids to help at the GBC when they get a chance. Right here we have Noah. Noah's helping us out. He just came over from the Michelin guys and says, hey, can you guys use help? The answer is always, of course we can. And now back to our regularly scheduled program.
All right. So after the creeper, we come into a themed Anna Elsa snow ski lift that most of the time works really well. And you come in with an agitator, you come into a stepper, which really feeds into the hitting the ski lift in the chairlift really at the right time.
This mechanism is really interesting with these arms, and is that rubber bands there?
Yes, yes. And I've never had a rubber band break in all these years. It runs at a constant speed, and we actually have 3 controllers down here that control it. We have this controller, which agitates. We have this controller, which then you can adjust for the speed of the ski lift, how fast it's going, because you'd love to have 1 ball per second. Now, we know we probably have 2 balls per second, but it's every other lift. So we have twice as many lifts as we really need.
Now, a quick question here. You can see some of these sitting here on this wide. They get very dirty. Do you guys ever clean these, or what does that work? How does that work?
There's a process where you would take them home and stick them in the washing machine in a bag. Okay. You wouldn't put them in there loose. That'd be a mess.
It'd be fun, though.
No, I think Mom would object greatly. So, yes, the balls have to get cleaned at some frequency. Otherwise, they do get totally filthy. And you can even see some of the black lines that come down through these different places where the ball always runs. So once the ball comes up the ski lift, of course, then it has to go down the ski lift, and we have a little slalom course here. Just as a funny note, I've built this, 4 or 5 years now. I put this ramp on upside down this morning. And so the entrance was up here and the exit was down here, and the balls were going all over the place. And I looked at this and I looked at it, and it finally dawned on me, oh, how could you do that, But it's just those things, you're putting them together quickly, trying to get them done over the last couple days.
You're going to have to pull it together here if you want to stay part of the GBC.
Well, I guess they can decide to kick me out if they want, right? So we have, years ago, we had this in a 4-stepper module that went up to the sky.
I remember that, a massive square stack.
And so these now have all been reused either like this, or Brian has some over there where he's done some pink thing themed with them and run 2 or 3 together. Then you have your traditional ball pump. And so that's what that is. This is actually Brian Alano's module from many years ago, and I got that. And it's really a spiral up, so it comes up. It works really well. It looks like it's shaking a little bit, so it probably just needs to be pushed back together a little bit after running for a number of hours like this, just like almost everything we have. So these were from Larry. Milton Train Works. These 2 actually are from Brick Fair, I believe, this year. I think this was the Brick Fair GBC module, and this must have been a previous year one. But they've run really well, really well. So the GBC, I have to put this thing in. You remember Aiden? He made that, and so we always try to put the GBC piece out. Now we get to Josh Cottrell's modules, which are very unique. And he uses a sweeper module. So the ball comes in here, it sweeps them, they come back here, and until the balls actually come back this way, then they'll exit.
I love this. It's very counterintuitive at first, because you're like, what? You're going the wrong way, but that all works out in the end.
Yes, it does, because it pushes them back this way and recirculates in a sense. And then when it dumps them this way, well, okay, it takes whatever it left, moves them over here. This is one of my favorite one of Josh's, just because it goes back and forth and advances the balls so well. This is one we almost never have a problem with until we walk away anyways. And it's really a nice module. I've liked Josh's Roman themed in a sense, if I can use that. Probably the only problem we have with it is this is a little hole and you get 20 balls at once. It wants to jam up, but other than that, it runs really reliably. And then, of course, we have to come over here and show you where the start is, even though a circle has no beginning and no end. So Brian Bonahum did that, and it certainly shows you, even has an arrow. So
you can blame that on me. We started at the wrong spot.
Oh, okay, okay. And so Brian did this. We knew we needed a second bridge, and so this has worked out really well. He worked a lot on this piece from our last show in Gaylord, that we went around and around with because it kept sticking up at the top. And we haven't had any problems with it today so far. And then Kyle Mankiewicz and his daughter built this Duplo GBC. And he's the one with the massive tower over there, the 50-footer or whatever it is.
This is so unique. I love this, using the Duplo base plates and the train track.
Yep. And we got trees and you got characters, and it runs very reliably. You know, if you get too many balls in the front, in the thing, just like any other module, they don't like it. So in this one, because it's going up a ramp, you have to have the power. And so
kind of a Jurassic Park vibe to everything.
Yeah, with this dinosaur, it's really nice. He brought it over, and you're always wondering when someone shows up with a module that says, "Oh yeah, I'll bring a module. We haven't tested it too much, but it's unique." And I said, "Okay." And he brought it over, and yes, it's been unique. It's awesome because you never see any of these in GBC, anyways.
Right.
You know, and so it's been really nice, and it's worked really well. And him and his daughter have both been in here at different times working GBC with us. So, again, that's kind of the reward in the sense of, us needing help. And two, they brought a module. So we want to have them come in and learn all the different modules in a sense of what goes wrong, what can't go wrong. So as they build more modules over time, they'll learn. So
overcoming that challenge is part of the fun, I think, with this.
Oh, yes, absolutely. Again, one of our modules from years ago. This is 2 modules in a row by Josh Cottrell, a simple stepper module, up and down, up and down. But this is a unique one where they go down that way and they run off here. It looks like it's slightly imbalanced because we're not getting many balls this way. But it would actually go both ways, and the balls would then come into this. And so this is the module from Japan when Josh went to Japan with Aki Uki. He had that GBC workshop there, and that's what he built. And so he had a problem with it earlier, turned it over, fixed it, squished it together. Normal things we do with Legos because the Legos separate. So that's really a nice module. It works on a camshaft at the bottom, and it's very tight tolerances. And so as they work out a little bit or they spread just a smidge, it starts to grind. You take it apart for 5 minutes and fix it. So it's really not too big of a deal. Your traditional ball pump, the wheel pump from this year's Brickworld, kind of your stepper, kind of a University of Michigan yellow and blue sweeper.
You got to represent up here in Michigan.
Well, absolutely, so then we have, again, the sweepers back and forth. And then Brian Bonhomme designed this long bridge so that we could, instead of having a railroad tracks are really nice, but they also have a tendency to not run as reliably as you'd like through the whole show. Now, obviously, this is going to run reliably through the whole show, and it adjusts.
Yeah.
So you can take this green piece and slide it that way. You can slide it into here.
On the rail pieces there.
Yeah, it's on the rail pieces on the inside. And so it's a very nice piece to get you the length you need. And two, if you have a module fail or two, you can slide it out, make it a little longer, and move other pieces in and out. And we do have a pile in the middle of spares that we always use. And we've used a number of spares in a number of places. And sometimes you just do it for half an hour while you fix the piece that broke. And sometimes it stays in there for the whole day. This is Brian's simple conveyor. Moves very nicely as long as we squeeze this piece every now and then. Again, the gear pieces create movement, and as you do that, those are things you got to fix.
I like Brian's Brick Built logo out there as well.
Yes, yep. Bonhomme builds. So
it's all about that branding.
Way, that's right. You guys know about branding, right?
Yeah.
So we have 3 semi-close modules in a row using the forklift. And these are more circular. This one kind of moves back, goes underneath, lifts up quickly, circles around, versus this rotational piece on these two. So this is a very nice stepper, and if you want to fix it, it's really nice. You take this piece off, and you can actually lift these pieces up to see the cam pieces underneath. And so that wave motion's really nice. Yeah. It's very soothing.
You need that. You need that as you're working the GBC.
Yes, that's right. We need soothing. So this is a traditional stepper. This is probably one of the slower ones, which helps us modulate the speed. And then we go into Brian's straight up conveyor, which really works well. Some straight up conveyors on my ball coaster wouldn't work because of the vibration. His is tight enough where it will take the balls all the way up, dump them into this, and then it has a unique ramp out where it goes back and zigzags out. So it's kind of unusual, but it's, again, one of those modules that have been here for years and years and years and years. So again, a wheel module from this year's Brickworld. We have a number of small steppers here. So, and then we get into the one I talked about earlier. He made an input basket and a couple of these pieces from years ago where we made that big tower. So it rotates here, feeds down that ramp, feeds to this one, goes there. Another kind of stepper module that was from a number of years ago, so it still works really well. And we got our two tippers going into the beautiful dozer. Yes. You know, and so, you know, Bill Bourne, probably most people have heard that story, but
I'm telling John to give me the camera.
Well, this is breaking all protocol to have another cameraman right now.
I'm sorry about that, but it's easier to see the kid driving the robot if the camera's pointed at the kid. It's amazing how that works. Good job, guys. We always appreciate you coming.
Yes, absolutely. Well, thank you. That's the entire loop. Again, one of the things we enjoy most is having the kids drive the dozer and interfacing with us on different pieces. As Brian said, we welcome a number of kids coming in helping us. They learn something about it. They learn it's really not as difficult as they think to build a module. Actually, there are a number of websites out there that have modules, and so it's a lot of fun. We enjoy it, obviously, and we're always trying to recruit more.
GBC is always hiring.
Yes, that's absolutely true. It doesn't pay well, but...
So how many builders were involved in this loop? Do you know?
Actually 6 of us. Okay. Brian, myself, Josh are probably the 3 main ones. We have Larry from Milton Train Works. We have Mankiewicz from the Duplo, so I guess that's 5. So that's, for a small show, that's actually pretty good, compared to Chicago where you get almost thousands, I think, so it's a lot of fun. So.
It's a great looking layout, and I'm always happy to see GBC represented at all the different Brickworld shows, so keep up the great work. Thanks for taking us through everything.
All right, you're welcome. Thank you.